Hey, how's it going, everybody? So today in this video, what I'm going to be showing you is how to use Airtable data, well actually the data we get from YouTube, put it in Airtable and make a lot of decisions about how to better optimize your numbers in your business, primarily your marketing strategy, specifically here in YouTube. So if you're interested, stick around. If you haven't met me before, my name is Ben Green. I help business owners optimize their business with technology, building systems like I'm about to show you in Airtable to make better decisions, quicker decisions, and yeah, that's exactly what I do. So if you're interested, just check out the link in the description, request a time to talk with me or someone on my team. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into this. So I'm going to shrink this down, and I've already pulled up Airtable, I've pulled up Airtable on the side, but here is YouTube. This is the back end of YouTube for my channel, and I do this about every 90 days. I haven't done this since November 6th, but how I get here is I go to the YouTube Analytics Studio, then I go to Advanced Mode. And once I'm in advanced mode, this shows up to, I believe, 50 videos. And there may be a way to get more than 50 videos in here, but I haven't figured out how to do that. So what I do is I just come up here to the top right, export current view. And actually, before I do that, I want to change this to my date range. So I want to say, we're going to go back to, I don't know if I can even delete that, 11/07/21, because I did it on November 6th last time. All right. So now this shows us how our videos have performed over that time frame. So now I'm going to export this current view as a CSV. It's going to download. And now we have a zip file. That's perfect. So over here now should be our zip file. Just going to open that up and get the CSV. So what we're going to do with the CSV is I'm going to put a new formula in here because I don't have it like currently overwriting the data because I think maybe someday it might be beneficial to see this data. So this is definitely not the most optimized Airtable setup. I will warn you on that. So in here, we're going to be opening up this folder right here, and I will add a new table. This is an Airtable base. I call it YouTube and blog. Primarily right now, it is just YouTube, but I'm going to bring in the CSV file, and it's going to be the table data. Then I will upload that, create a new table. Looks good to me. This first row is what would be headers in like a Google sheet. We're going to just take that out. It's just like the summarizations, which we get down here at the bottom of Airtable. So this is perfect. Now what we have here is each video is a line, and on each line we have views, watch time, subscribers, estimated revenue, impressions, click-through rate. So there's probably like 3 different things that I'm really looking for here. I'm looking for videos that I need to make more of. So it depends like what I'm optimizing for. But if I want to get videos where I'm getting a good amount of impressions on them, then I would make more videos like that. If I want to have videos where I'm making more money from them, there's things I can focus on with that. So I'm going to show you exactly what to do here. And I'm first going to rename this to March 12th, March 12th data. Keep it consistent with the other ones. All right, so now what I have, one thing I like to add is this first field is just the YouTube video ID, and I have this first YouTube videos table over here that has a lot of the thumbnails in it. So I just like to add a field to the right and link over to that, just so we can look up the thumbnail. That is the only reason, just so this looks just a little bit better. So because both of these first fields are the same, I can just copy that in there, look it up to see the thumbnail. That is, again, the only reason. All right, so now this looks a little bit better. I can get a good idea of like what some of these thumbnails are. All right, so normally I would recommend just importing into the same sheet, but I just don't. And I'm going to show you how to set up these views from scratch. So the first thing that I'm going to be looking for are actually I'm going to add one thing in here before I do that, and that is a formula, which I believe is right here. URL from YouTube videos. Okay, so that is the YouTube URL to go watch them, but I want to be able to go in and straight in and edit the video. And so I think somewhere on here I have a formula that I have written to be able to edit the video. Yeah, so if I come in here to edit video, there should be this formula here. And basically this just says go into YouTube Studio, put the ID of the video, and then edit. So I'm going to add that same button field here. So add a new field that is a button so I can go straight into the videos. All right. So YouTube Studio Video Edit, and then Edit Video. This is going to be the label of the button, and I'm going to change this to red, just like the other one. Sweet. So now I can go in straight in and edit the video. There's one other metric that I would like to add to this, and I just thought of it earlier today, and I was like, how much? So I just recently got monetized. So I'm curious to know on any video, how much do I make per view? So like that would tell me advertisers would be willing to spend more money on that video subject. So I'm curious, those are maybe videos I should make more of, because no matter how many views I get, I'm going to be proportionally getting more money. Another one is, what are some low-hanging fruit videos to change out the thumbnail to get more views? That's another big one. And then we'll start there. So the first one, what I'm going to add is a field to the right here. It's going to be a formula. And I want to say your estimated revenue divided by the number of views. And I know there may be some signs to like maybe not all those views are monetized, but this is going to be revenue per view. And we're going to change this to money so that it looks right. Sweet. So now you can see 3 cents, 2 cents for all these. It may vary. And it's not letting me scroll. Okay. We might have lost scroll functionality for the video, but that's fine. I can just use that. Okay. So if I want to know what's my highest revenue per view, that's perfect. And I also first want to just come in here and filter where views is empty and delete that one, or where views equals 0, because I have a few unlisted videos that I don't care to be editing in here. Okay, so now I have this view right here where I can see my average revenue per view. And if I want to know, it looks like 5 cents is getting pretty good. And I also maybe want to only count above a certain threshold. So I'll change this to say I only care about videos where the estimated revenue is greater than $5. So I've at least made $5 on this, and this is the revenue per view. And so now if I say, actually we'll lower that to 4, because I can see in the bottom left I have 64 in here. So I'll say $4 have been made on it. And the revenue per view down here at the bottom, I want about 30 records. So I'm going to say greater than 4 cents and see what that gives us. So the revenue per view is greater than 0.04. That gives us 18. That's pretty good. So these are all videos that I should be making more of, because proportionally they give me more money. So that means people are willing to advertise on these. And if we look at the title of these videos, we have Asana, managing marketing content. So like a content calendar video. We have a Gantt view, time tracking, Zapier, lead tracking, email automations, Zapier, Facebook group outreach. So these are some pretty good insights, I think. So this tells me these videos, I should make more of them if I'm concerned about whatever the level of output. And granted, some of these only have like 84 views, but I've made $5 from 84 views. So that's a pretty high leverage video in my opinion. All right, so I'm going to label this make more of these. All right, that's a good starting place. Now I'm going to add another grid view. And what this one is going to be is fix these thumbnails. All right, so fix these thumbnails. I want the worst impressions click-through rate. So these are the worst click-through rates. And I think these are also irrelevant because they're unpublished. And we'll go with this. Let's see, what are these ones? Yep, that one's unpublished. This one is also unpublished. So those are good to be deleted. But the rest of these have the worst thumbnail ever. And I also we'll fix the thumbnails, but if they don't have any traffic going to them, meaning they don't have any impressions, it's not worth fixing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say filter where the impressions is greater than, just looking at this list here, I want to say if it's greater than 200, it might be worth it to us. And you can see right now we have 207 videos in here. So if it's greater than 200, that's going to be maybe worth improving our click-through rate. And we can change that to get this down. My goal is to get this down to about 30 videos that are pretty high leverage. So now we can see all of these click-through rates. And I generally, recently I keep upping it, but any video that is under a 3% click-through rate, I want to be fixing. So greater than 3, less than 3 I meant. So the impressions click-through rate is less than 3, and now we have 40 records. So this is a pretty good starting point. And now if I want to get this down just a little bit more to even more high leverage videos, I can bump this up to say 300. Now we have 33 videos. That's perfect. So now which ones are going to be the highest leverage? So the ones that are going to be the highest leverage, if I'm just optimizing this set of videos for views, I'm going to sort this 9 to 1. So this video, I'm getting 5,000 impressions, but my click-through rate is terrible. It's under 3%. This one I'm getting 4,000 impressions, but my click-through rate again is even worse. This one is a super high leverage one because it's under 1%. So what's that video? LinkedIn SSI tracking. This one up here, super high leverage. And I'm going to also try to spot a trend in these. So I'm going to do the same thing, but this one's going to be model these thumbnails. All right, so I still care about the same amount of impressions, but I'm going to take off the click-through rate, and then I'm going to sort it the opposite way. So now these videos right here, and basically what I'm doing with this is just giving me a good idea of what are these videos and a few different, looking at them based on a few different metrics. So this is going to be based on impressions, and now this is my highest click-through rate, and I still need a good amount of impressions. So now I'm actually just going to take off that and just do click-through rate, and I care about the highest click-through rate. So these right here, these are the ones that I'm going for. And this is a mistake that I haven't been doing recently, is going in and seeing, okay, I'm going to fix these old thumbnails, but I honestly do not know what the ones look like that people like the best, which I've been just messing up on. So here, I'm just going to pull this over to the side, and what I'm going to do is sorry about that, just hit the edit video button and just come in here and take a look at the thumbnail, because I may have changed it last time, but I just want to know that. So I'm just going to pull this over here and click it on these top 15 videos. And we're just going to take a look and see what these look like. Okay. So I already noticed these are my old thumbnails, and these just still perform very well. These are the first style of thumbnails that I made. I now have a different colored background. But if I keep going, the first three, something that I notice is the majority of them have been all lowercase. So I'm just going to open up all these, and we're just going to go through them as they load into here. All right. So that one, pretty much lowercase. This video, pretty much all a lowercase thumbnail. This video right here, and again, this is just using that formula that I wrote to be able to click right in here. This one is in all caps, but these old colors, I've noticed, they all do better. This one is in lowercase, or like title case, I think is a good way to say it. Another title case video. Another title case video. So what I've noticed is recently I've been putting my titles in all caps. And something I learned from David Ogilvy was you always want to put black text on a light colored background, but I don't want all my videos to be on a white background. So that's why I choose all these colors that hopefully pop. But all of these colors definitely pop. They're not the basic light colored, more neutral. But again, all of these, thank you, welcome to YouTube Studio. All of these are very much light colored and they have black text on a white background, has a big picture of me smiling or making some face, and they're just all title case, I've noticed. This one is something different. So this one has Nacho in it, but this one's all caps. So this is just one of the ways that I use this. So these are thumbnails that I should be modeling. And so now let's drag out this one, close out the rest of those. And let's check out the thumbnails that are bad. So to check out the thumbnails that are bad, I'm again going to go back to Airtable, pull it on the other screen, but I'm going to say fix these thumbnails, and I will open the highest leverage ones first. So the most impressions, these are the ones that I can improve the most and get the highest yield. So if I edit this first one, all caps. And I think what I'm going to be testing out when I redo these thumbnails is going to be it's different words and it's not title cap, or it's not all caps. So there's another all caps video. Here's another all caps video. That one really just doesn't tell us much. This one will most likely be another all caps video. This one will also be another all caps video. This one, again, another all caps video. All right, so it seems like people don't like clicking on all caps videos, but they do like clicking maybe when they can easier understand it. So maybe that increases readership and it allows more people to click on it because it resonates with whatever they're searching for. Sweet. So I think that is a good start on those. And now I know I should redo all of these thumbnails that are in this view of Airtable data, where it says fix these thumbnails starting from top to bottom, maybe make the colors a little brighter, and test out a few different things. So that's fix these thumbnails. Now there's one more category that I want to go into, and that is fix this SEO. So fix this SEO. So what these are going to be videos that don't have the right amount of impressions. So if I take this 300 off, you can see the sum is right there, but if I go the average is 1,600 impressions over the last 90 days. So if I sort this from 1 to 9 and then filter this to say where the impressions are less than 1,600, how many does that give me? That gives me 140 videos. That means there's a lot of videos that fall under the average. And if you think of this as a bell curve, there's obviously going to be tails. So like here's some that only have 48, but these are still problems. So these are still a priority to fix because they're just sitting there and I spent time making the video, but obviously nobody cares to search for it. And it may just be slightly off as far as what I'm going for there. So if I come in here and say, what are the worst impressions? I could filter out possibly some bad click-through rates, or I could just lower this to say anything under 1,000 to start. That would at least get me down to 120. So these are videos where I need to go fix the title, need to fix the description, and need to fix the tags, because that is what YouTube says goes into the search. So if I need to fix all of these, now we're down to 112. Some of the higher leverage ones would just be if, let's filter where the impressions click-through rate is greater than 3. That gives us 72. So these are all, if I can just get more eyeballs on the videos, then people will click on it. So this should be what I really care about. And ideally, again, I get this down to about 30 videos to fix. So another thing that we could look at on here is we could say the average watch time. So if I write a formula on here, so insert a field to the right, I want videos where people watch the full video because YouTube is going to reward me for that. And it's not going to be a percentage of the video. Unfortunately, it's just going to be how many minutes do they watch this on YouTube, or how many hours. So this is going to be the watch time and hours over views. So these videos, that is kind of sad. The sum is 3 on that. I guess that's in hours. So I could also multiply this all by 60. And this is going to show us how many minutes people on average watch. So maybe I'll also filter this to say this is greater than 1 to start out. How many does that give us? If we say 2, that gives us 50. If we say 3, that gives us 25. So on average, if I optimize these videos, I get the impressions up. And another important piece to this is if people are watching it, but the impressions are lower, that might mean the impressions are low because the video is not the greatest. It doesn't keep people engaged. So those videos might not even be worth optimizing for that if they're under 3 minutes, because YouTube doesn't want to promote it because people aren't watching it. But these videos, it's proven people are watching it, but we are not getting a good enough amount of impressions. So these are 25 videos where I would fix the SEO. These are the top thumbnails. So I didn't throw a filter on here, but if I say where it's greater than 9, the impressions click-through rate, these are going to be a good model. So greater than 9, that gives us 27 records. But again, looks like the key concepts here were lowercase or title case in the thumbnail, a bold or very, very catchy color on the background, and then a picture of my face. And these ones need the thumbnail fixed, and they will have a high, how do I say this, a high, like they will have a high return on my time of fixing these. So if I can just fix these and get a better click-through rate, so just toss in a new thumbnail here based on what these models look like, then hopefully I can get these up instead of an average of 1.94. If I can get it up to like my channel average of 6 on all these, or 7 even, then that's going to really help me out a lot. So I think that sums it up. Now it's really just going in and doing the work and editing these 90 videos or so, and actually editing those 60 videos, so editing the thumbnail on certain of them and updating the SEO on the others. And then these are ones I should just make more of if I'm concerned about growing the revenue on my YouTube channel. So these are good topics. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're curious about how to use this for your channel, you can follow the steps that I went through with downloading your videos from the studio right here. So if you go to analytics and then go to advanced mode on your data, then you'll be able to see all of your data, and you can make these same types of decisions. You don't per se need to use Airtable to do this, but I think it is very easy to use if you get familiar with how to use these views over here, because now I can go back and see what were my November 6th videos, what were my October 24th videos where I needed to do some of these same things. Now again, I didn't always use the view system. I would just use one view and throw in my filters. But it's also going to be useful if I end up making a system out of this and just importing everything into the same table. I can see, okay, this video has historically had a terrible thumbnail even after I redo it. And maybe what was the last time I redid the thumbnail? Those are all going to be things that are useful to see. So hopefully eventually I can get a better system around this, but I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a real use case of, I mean, I build these systems in Airtable, but this is how I actually use Airtable to make decisions around how to optimize my YouTube channel. So I hope you found a lot of value in this. If you have any questions about how I did any of this or anything I maybe didn't cover in this video, then throw it down in the description or throw it down in the comments section. But without further ado, I will throw you to this video right here, and it's how do I use Zapier to automate some of my YouTube processes. So some of the promotion around my YouTube videos, this video right here is going to cover all. It's going to be in the end screen, I guess, in the middle of the screen, but I'm going to take you through step by step how to set up YouTube and Zapier to take some of the work off your back. So I hope this helps, and I will see you in that video.